Welcome everyone to Galaxy Games. I'm your host, Joseph Anthony. I'm really excited. Whole new year, whole new format. Some great news. We have some cash prizes to give away this time around. And all right. Okay, so it seems that our money is misplaced momentarily. That's fine. We'll have it all sorted out later. But here's some good news. I have a self-proclaimed expert of Payday 2 with me, and it is Anthony Laurenti.
How you doing, Joseph?
Hello, Anthony. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. So, I guess starting off, tell me a little bit, how about you just start off, what is Payday 2?
Payday 2 is a cooperative first-person shooter developed by Overkill Games. Sorry, Overkill Software. Anyway, it's basically about you and 3 others, your friends or inserted AI, basically rob banks and pull heists to get money and experience.
Cool. So, is it just straight up, okay, rob a bank, or is there some kind of underlying story to it?
I've played hours of this game, and it feels like there's stories to it, but basically, I feel like you're hired by different people to do these jobs. There's a Ukraine job where an uncle wants like this tiara for like a niece's wedding stolen, so they would have to cancel or cancel out the wedding. So you go steal that for them, and he pays you, and you get anything else that you get. So there's different missions that you can do. It's sort of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Yes, there's like stories, but they're all different ones.
So it's sort of like episodic, like each heist is its own story.
Yes, exactly. There's actually some that have multiple days. They have like 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and say you do it. Let's see, a framing frame where you have to steal these photos, and when you steal them, you go away. That's day 1. Day 2 is you actually have to put them into this train, and this guy buys them, but you put cameras in them. And day 3 is the buyer. You're trying to it's almost like a sting operation. The cameras are inside the person's house that you're gonna rob, and he has gold in there and all that stuff.
Oh.
So there's 3 days.
So these days are sort of like, I used to say parts.
Yeah, parts, levels within the bigger.
Sort of like a multi-level heist, like step 1, step 2, step 3. Cool, cool. So you said you play as these characters. Is there different characters to play as?
Yes, you have 4 different characters, but it doesn't really matter who you play as, because the only difference is really they have different masks. But in the long run, it depends on what role you play, because there's skill trees in this game.
Oh, so what are these different roles?
You have Mastermind, which is he's crowd control. Make sure everything inside the building is okay. Then there's the Enforcer, which is the tank of the group. He is awesome. He can walk out of a bank heist, be kick down the door and go pop, 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 keep everybody's head down. He can carry the bags, throw them. So you have that one. Then you have Technician, which is one of the most important ones. They take care of the drill that has to drill into a safe. They can make it do different things. You can do different skill sets. The best one so far is C4. And say a safe that would take 2 minutes to drill through. C4, boom, 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 done. 30 seconds. Grab the bags and go. You just go. And the last one is Ghost. Now Ghost is pretty cool. It's basically if you want to do anything sneaky, you go with Ghost. It's actually been told you can almost do an entire mission by yourself. So you can shoot somebody and then body bag them and throw them into a dumpster, or they have these things EMF. You can put them onto a wall and it stops. It's like an EMP jammer. Think of it like that. It stops all communication going out for a short time.
I guess the enemies would be police and stuff. Do they have radios that you can shut off?
Yes. In the beginning of a heist, you don't automatically run in there guns a-blazing. You can if you want to, but you can coast the place, or basically
So you can case buildings?
Yes, case.
So there's...
yeah, you case buildings, yeah.
Is that that's a strategic part of the game, right?
Very important part. Unless you played it as many times as we do, we're oh, okay, let's go. But the cool thing is, almost levels usually change within it. Or little things change, the location of the safe is over here instead of there.
Do these little changes change up how you approach the game? Or?
Yes, actually. Say the safes are right here, and then there's always this back door. You can go into this back door and be oh man, safe's there. So you can actually control only this part right here, and the people over here never see you. So you can throw the safe there, put it on. But if the safe's over here, it's right next to where the tellers are,
Oh,
right near all the
okay.
stuff. But
So it's like if it's in the back, you can probably just sneak in.
Yeah,
While it's in the
it's-
front, you
yeah.
have to go to the front door.
You can still go to the back door, but there's like 2 doors this way that way. But that's going 2 into the one level of the bank job. But they make you think differently. And I forgot to mention that with the classes, each one has their own little special device. So the mastermind gives that health. The enforcer gives that ammo, very important. The technician, he actually throws down like satchel charges.
Are those like C4 or?
It's like C4, but it's like trip mines. You can actually get a perk to change it to like gas, C4, or like if someone passes it, it doesn't explode, but it alerts you that someone passed it.
Oh, okay. So it's like a sensor or just
Yeah.
a straight up mine he can put down.
You can actually switch it out for a briefcase that turns into a machine gun.
Oh gosh, I remember 007.
Yep. I love it.
Amazing.
I love that. I throw those down like a catwalk. I'm talking too much.
But
And then the ghost, I already talked about the EMF gem thing.
that is really cool.
Fun game.
You mentioned mass. Now, do the mass have any effect, or are they just purely like something the player can do aesthetically?
The only effect it really has is it's that between of like casing a place, and then gameplay. So when you're done casing, you put that mask on. All right, gameplay. Because when you don't have that mask on, you can't like crouch, jump, cut fences. You can't do anything.
You have to like act like a normal citizen.
Yes. Yeah, you walk around with like you can actually get like Kevlar and stuff. But
Though in hindsight, if you're walking around in a suit carrying a bunch of big bags, that's
you don't have any bags.
oh no bags.
But
Okay.
sometimes you can actually level up and get different armor. So like you'd be like walking into a club and the bouncer's like, you look like a swole guy. I have like all this Kevlar on.
just Kevlar walking into
Oh,
a
yeah.
bank.
Oh yeah.
Not suspicious at all.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah. I lost track of where we were. Did you?
I appear to have two. Wait, no, we were talking about roles. You were talking about
Yes.
each one has a specific
Yeah.
thing, like the trip mine with the
The trip mine. Yeah. like all
technician,
that.
and the ghost has his EMF jammer.
Yeah.
And he can. No, we were talking about the technician can throw down his suitcase.
Yeah. The suitcase with the machine gun, very fun. And then like that, there's like little satchel charges they turn into C4.
But,
oh, the mask. Yes, we're on the mask.
mask, yes.
We're on the mask.
Like our mask aesthetic choice or not.
Yeah, you can actually make a static. Like you can actually, after each successful heist, this screen comes up and 3 cards are dealt. You choose one of the 3, and it's always random. It flips over, and it gives you either a gun modification, mask, like a paint style, or like style, paint color, or a new mask in general. It's really cool, and also a texture. So you can get different masks.
So
Like,
what's your mask?
Oh, I love mine right now. It's like an alien's face. Think of Alienware, but I put it like a cat texture, like stencil on it. So it has like these red eyes, but then the cat nose and whiskers. It puts it off.
Is it
balance.
just like a cat nose, or is it like face paint
It's
tiger?
Like, it's like painted on there.
Oh.
Like that. Like you can. It's cool. I have a rhino mask. But yeah.
So like overall for Payday 2, would you say that this is something people should be interested in and look into?
Yes.
Is
Very
it
interested.
is it just for the shooter crowd, or could it appeal to other people?
Other people who like Ocean's movies, like Ocean's 12 and 13, yes, I would love that. But, it's a different type of first-person shooter, I would say.
Does the tactical sort of
It's tactical.
planning out actual
Yeah, it's
heist
fun.
play to it?
Each person has a role. Like, Battlefield 3, everybody has their, section. If you play it right with a team. This one, you have to work with a team. It's very important. Very fun game.
So what platforms is it on?
Okay, it's on PC, Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3.
Cool.
Best part is,
Yep.
$40 in store, and I believe $35 digital download. But I cannot contest for that for PlayStation 3 because I got it for the Xbox 360 that way.
All right. Well, that's cool. Well, thank you, Anthony. And you will be staying with me as we move on to our question and answer segment, where we take questions from viewers like you, and we answer them on the show. As us, joining me today to help me answer questions is my good friend Albert over here. Hey, Albert.
Hey.
I'll take this. You want me to get the seat?
Okay, that's fine. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Albert.
Hello. Good to see you again.
Yeah. Hey, Albert. Did we find the cash prizes?
Fine. Well, no. We'll talk about that later.
All right, cool.
Find isn't the word for what happened. Okay, we'll get down to that later.
Sure. Okay.
missing.
Well,
What do you mean
we'll
by missing?
talk about it later.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
moving on. Question and answer segment.
Oh, yeah.
I have some questions here from a random selection of people. So let's see. The first question is, how will the casual game boom, i.e., Candy Crush Saga, Farmville, affect the video game industry in the long run?
How would it affect the video? Well, I just the casual gaming is just okay. Well, I'd like
Maybe
to
it's not
think.
like it's a bad thing.
Well, in a way, okay. I do think in a way because there are two kinds of gamers. Like they're like the quote unquote hardcore gamers and they're the casual gamers. Now, I mean, as like game developers come out, I mean, any independent developer, they like to go with those apps. They want to go with like they're hoping they can do the next Angry Birds and stuff. And you're asking how's the boom? What was the question? How it affects?
Well, what they were asking is, how is this boom in sort of like all these casual games that you might play on your phone or play on like your iPad or something? How will this affect the game industry in the long run?
I don't.
Are we raising hands?
Yeah, go ahead. You guys something to say?
All right, go for
Oh,
it.
no. I think it actually has affected it positively.
How so?
Amazing. Think about back in the day, you'd be like, three of us would be at lunch in high school talking about video games. We're like, video games. Someone comes up and like, what are you guys talking about? The coolest guy in school will be like, video games. He's like, man, you guys are losers. Nowadays, he's like, oh, you mean Call of Duty?
Okay.
Like, anybody can talk about it. And also the thing is, now that everybody's okay with the idea of video games, that means we can put out more different ones. I think the casual gaming helped. Even though I do not like most of the casual games, I think they're very good, fun, but I know that's not my thing, but I think it's always good.
Yeah, I think he makes a valid point there that casual games may not be what we as hardcore gamers tend to think of as like we respect because they tend not to be as well thought out as like a real game.
Real game.
A real game.
Wow.
But they do definitely help. They broaden the audience and they get a lot more people to accept the game medium. So it's like or media.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I
it's-
definitely agree with that. Like, personally, for myself, I find it weird because I feel like I'm in this sort of area because I love my Bakery Story Castleville game on my phone. I don't play Candy Crush actually,
Thank you.
but
I did.
I love my Farmville game, but I also love my hardcore game like Crackdown or Far Cry 2. I feel like there's this in like the gaming society in general. There's this weird split that we set in ourselves for like, oh, that dirty casual gamer. Like we don't count them as like our real games, as you were.
Well, I will give this for the casual game. A lot of good casual games, the good thing about them is they're not time consumption. Like they don't have a lot of time. You can literally go sit at like a restaurant and say while you're waiting for your food to come to the table, if you're in a dine-in restaurant, or while you're someone, whatever, you're sitting in waiting for a meeting or anything, you can pop out your phone, play a casual game.
Yeah,
you
while
can't
you're
just pop out an Xbox and play Call of Duty while you're waiting for
Exactly.
your food.
Like sometimes I feel like, what? I just want to sit down. I don't want to like pull out my DS and start Kirby, play Kirby. Oh, I have to order, put Kirby away. So I just want to play Tetris. So if I can play Tetris on my phone, if I can check on my Bakery Story, Also with these casual games, and games that have these sort of time management, you're like, what?
I like to check on my singing monsters.
Oh,
Go
adorable.
ahead.
But with these games, also something I noticed, great for time management. I know how to add with time much better than I ever did before, which is interesting. Add with time, it's interesting. You have to know what time your things will finish.
Oh, yeah.
Let's move on to our...
Building skills for the future.
Exactly. All right, next question. Oh gosh, console or PC?
Oh,
of people are gonna get salty.
That's
A
a
lot of people are
loaded
gonna get
question.
salty
You
right
can't
now.
just be.
That is the... We are shooting ourselves right now, so...
Yeah, I got a lot of both.
Well, I will shoot myself first.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't care. Growing up, I always had a really slow PC, and I had to share a console. I just wanted to play a game. I didn't care if it was on console or on PC. I don't have a preference for like specs. Oh, on PC you can run it so much faster. I don't care. I have a laptop that cost me $200. It's not going to run your game very well. I have an Xbox. It's going to run any Xbox game I buy pretty darn well.
Yeah.
I've got a similar situation, but in my situation, I was always behind the times, and I'm kind of dating myself by saying this. But when all my friends wanted a Nintendo, I didn't get one. Then the Super Nintendo came out, and I finally got my Nintendo. I was already a generation behind when I started. And yeah, I know, that really dates me. But that's okay. Yeah, well, generation behind the movie. But anyway, so yeah, I agree. You know, back when I was a kid, I was like, you know, I was just excited to have a Nintendo. I don't care everybody else. Okay, I did care that everybody else was playing the Super Nintendo with all better graphics, and I was all like jealous and stuff. But I'm like, I got my Nintendo. I was super excited. Yeah, people gave me crap. They were like, Nintendo.
Come on,
Man, why don't you play with your Game Boy? I mean, it's the same thing. And I'll be like, hey, what? I enjoy the Nintendo. You know, but I mean, my very first PC game was run on. I'm dating myself again, but it was run on DOS. Like it was an old, and I had a black and white monitor, like, and it was like Donkey Kong-ish. It was
You're
like,
just getting older by the second, man.
I know. It was like it was a Popeye game where you had to go fight Bluto to rescue Olive Oil. So it was kind of like Donkey Kong.
Her name was Olive Oil?
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was just Olive.
No,
Nope, olive oil.
Really? They should
Yeah.
really be more creative than that.
Right.
Sorry for interrupting.
But anyway, but it was a Donkey Kong-esque game. And that was the very first video game I think I've ever played. So I mean, back then, you know, I was just excited to play the video games. So now, when I have the choices, I actually play multiple systems. You know, I have the Wii U, and I want to get the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4. You know, I have a PC. I want.
You want it all. Anthony, what about you?
It's sort of almost like a combo between you guys. Because the thing is, like, my friends always loved the PC over everything else. But I was like, I'm okay with my console. I'm acknowledging that the PC, yeah, it can have like faster processing power, almost everything. But I'm where the gameplay is at.
Right.
And I'm not as fast as my friends are with StarCraft, ridiculous StarCraft, or like first-person shooters with it.
I'm Asian.
That's disappointing. I don't know what to say
That's
that.
racist. I'm sorry.
Anyway, but it's pretty fun. I like my consoles. I do play PC games, but the stuff I have on PC are mainly indie games.
Right.
But
well, I mean that's because indie games are a lot easier to release on PC.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot easier because for one, it's kind of good and kind of bad. I mean, it's harder because, you know, things like Xbox Arcade, they have an indie store. Some of those games are god awful, but some of them are really good. Some of them are
You'll
really
find
good.
those gems if you really look for them.
But it's
through
good
all,
for like
like-
screening. Like these consoles, they screen. You won't get here unless you can do this. It's like what Steam is doing with Greenlight. If you can't make $100 without Steam, we're not gonna give you a spot on Steam.
Okay.
You know, the only real benefit I would say, well, I mean, like the most important benefit of the console is that the fact that I don't even remember what I was going with that. That was
Well, I can take that question from you
ready to go.
and
My
say
body was ready.
affordability. Like a console.
Oh, that was what it is. Upgrading because you in order to get the newest like game for if you get Xbox One,
Yeah.
you gotta buy a new system. But you know, with a PC or something, you'd be like, well, okay, new vid card, new sound card. I mean, maybe you're investing a similar amount of money, but you're still running that same machine.
Uh-huh.
So it's not like I don't have to go with the new system, and I can only play the games that are available on the new system. With the PC, you can play almost any game as long as you just keep upgrading the one machine. So in a way, it's good. In a way, it's bad because eventually it's going to get old and you have to replace it. But it's kind of nice to have that ability to. You can't just go open your Xbox, change things around, and if it breaks, be all like, Microsoft, fix it. They'll be like, no, you broke the seal.
Yeah.
The seals.
I don't know. That's actually one thing I like about I actually dislike about PC is, you know, buying a high-end like gaming laptop or gaming
It's
PC.
obsolete the second you buy it.
Yeah.
That like an iPhone, obsolete like an iPhone.
I got the new GeForce FX some number, and you're like, oh yeah, that
But
was released like
back to
5 months ago.
PCs. Back to PCs,
Sorry.
like building those PCs, they sometimes cost upward of like $2,000.
Yeah,
That's true.
While
Yeah,
like
price
if I can
surge.
buy a console, I can keep it for like Xbox has been here for like what 8 years
Yeah.
since a new console has come out, and gaming PCs like improve so quickly. You just paying like $400 for an Xbox I'm going to use for 8 years rather than paying for $2,000 for a laptop that I'm going to have for however long it takes for this laptop to become like out of date or
Well, I mean,
unusable.
That's a separate question all itself between laptop and desktop.
Yeah.
But I mean, essentially, yes. Basically, you're saying, but a PC, if we were doing a mathematical equation, it would be.
Hold on, this is a video game show, not math. We keep math out of here.
Yes, no math. In
Higher
no
initial
joke.
cost.
Speaking
lower
of
upgrade.
But wait,
math.
do you even have an answer for that though?
I think we were all
What's
just
the fine answer, like?
console or PC. I guess I'm sort of in the middle, but if I had to choose, I'd say console.
I would say anything. As long, it'd be
Middle of
based
the
on
line?
games. It'd be based on games.
I agree to disagree.
Fair enough. Next question. How do you think violence in video games affects society? This question, I
That's
feel,
deep.
is so prevalent in just video gaming culture in general. I mean, so much stuff recently with Grand Theft. Just so much stuff in general, like with Grand Theft Auto 5.
Right.
I know there was a recent, I'm not sure how recent, but
The Navy shooting.
a what? What'd you say?
We will not talk about that then. There was a Navy shooting that came out like.
Oh, I didn't hear about
It was
that.
on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go into details because I thought that's what you're going into, but you're talking about the other one with.
Yeah, but you can talk about that
No,
Navy.
go ahead,
What do
go
you
ahead.
mean?
No, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk because all I know is that it happened on a Wednesday, and it was a Navy Yard shooting.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean,
heard,
like,
I heard
That's all I
there,
got.
there was already like as soon as GTA 5 was released, there was like controversy
Oh,
about
yeah,
stuff.
like-
There was so much stuff.
but what I was going off on was a 5-year-old boy shot.
Grand Theft Auto
his
4, I think, yeah.
Yeah, he shot his grandmother, and the first thing they put out was he was playing Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yes, the police officers said, yes, he was actually just playing it, and he actually pointed it to the back of the grandmother's head and pulled the trigger. That means he aimed for the back of the head and knew what he was doing and pulled the trigger. Later on, during interrogation, the boy said, "I was just messing around the gun and it accidentally went off."
Which is what happens so much. I mean,
Like-
what is that Christmas movie where the kid there's that consistent? If you're gonna shoot your eye out with that BB gun,
Story.
the Christmas story.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this happens with kids all the time. Well, not with kids, but happens with things all the time.
Yeah,
Like we have something that's violent or dangerous, like video games, which are arguably a little bit less dangerous than people keep assuming.
it's okay. Here, you gotta think of it this way. It's all about they want somebody to blame.
Yeah, they need a
Yeah,
scapegoat.
they need a scapegoat, and that's what the police officers are like. Oh man,
Video games ruined it, this kid.
yeah.
Well, and I think my favorite quote, I'm sorry.
no, I was doing a big face.
Okay.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No,
Your
I was just
favorite
going to say
quote.
my favorite quote would be the one that the NRA uses, but it's, guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, you can't say video games kill people. Last time I saw anyone kill somebody with a video game, it would be never. I mean, you can't throw a Wii U disc and chop slice someone's head off, nor can you take a Super Nintendo cartridge and beat somebody in with it, because more than likely you'd break the cartridge before you broke the
Yeah,
skull.
you broke the
So I mean, games don't kill people.
unless it's a GameCube. I mean, those things are very.
Yeah.
You can throw those out of the building.
Well,
Yeah.
there are certain games that could drive you. Maybe.
Drive you,
No, that's not that. I'm just joking. That's a statement.
Do not kill anyone based off anything you've heard here.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that was an amazing question. We could talk about it more, but sadly we're gonna have to wrap it up.
All right.
We had some more great questions, but we will get more of those later. And if you
Next time.
if you have any questions, just leave them as a comment below, and we'll sort through them and see if you end up on the next sheet, on our next show.
This is where you say like and subscribe and.
We're not sellouts, man.
All of the buttons pop up.
I'm a sellout. I'm sorry.
Only like if you enjoy the show, okay?
We even have
And if you dislike the show, like and comment and tell me, how much of a loser I am. Be sure to like
No,
and comment
maybe
that.
just constructive criticism, or maybe not.
tell the truth. and
It's
not
the internet. Do you
truth.
expect constructive criticism?
Are we done
Okay,
here?
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
wrapping
yeah.
up. So, hey, what's with the? Hey, that's
Oh,
the
your
map.
money, dude.
What?
Wow, Albert,
Well, then-
will you please?
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Well then, thanks for joining me. I'm your host, Joseph Anthony, and I'll see you later. Oh, geez, Albert, where is he? Darn it! Hello.